Hey everyone, welcome back to another video in our hardcore but cottagecore world. As you guys may have noticed, I haven't really uploaded in this world for a while, so I thought today we could talk about the reason why and give an update about the future of what I consider my main series to be on this channel. And we're gonna do a world tour, so that'll be pretty fun, right? To not draw out this news any further, I just want to start by saying that I'm going to be retiring this hardcore world from the channel, so this will be the final video about it. Now before we all start yelling in the comments, just hear me out, as this was not an easy decision for me to make, and it's also one that I never wanted to make. This is ultimately something that's been weighing on me pretty heavily ever since the Tricky Trial update happened, and here's why. The texture pack that I'm using for this world is called Mizuno 16 Craft, and it has not updated since the 1.20 update that added the Cherry Grove. Now, there was an update for 1.21 on Bedrock, but it's also managed by a different company and not by the original creator, so I don't know if the original creator has anything to do with that. But as far as the Java edition goes, we did not get an update, and that's also completely fine. I wanted to give the texture creators time to update and figure everything out because obviously a lot changed between 1.20 and 1.21. Plus, in general, I'm not a girly that's going to be out there like trying to hurry up mod and texture pack creators. A lot of creators do this in their spare time, you know, just for fun. So obviously everyone gets busy and it's totally understandable. But through this process of waiting, I have realized a few things, especially when it comes to the videos that I'm going to be producing for my channel. And one of those things is that I prefer for my main world to be a world that's on the latest version of Minecraft so that we can explore the updates together. And that leads into the second point, which is that I don't want to have to put off making videos on new updates if I'm waiting for like texture packs and mods and stuff to update. I do realize that I could just update this world to 1.21 and then deal with the new blocks being the vanilla versions instead of the Mizuno's versions, but I don't know if I really want to go in that direction and have like a mixed mash texture pack world, if you know what I mean. And I've also thought about converting this world to a vanilla world and just playing in it with no texture pack, but at the end of this video I'm going to show you why that's probably not going to work for me personally. But yeah guys, that is the bad news. I'm so sorry, and if you guys have any questions, I'll be answering them in the comments, but let's go ahead and start this world tour. Our journey started right here in July of 2022, right on this cobblestone block. I punched my first tree right down in this valley, and then later on built up a museum here to remember all of the cool things that we'd done in this world. And we'll come back to that because that'll be probably the last thing we visit on the tour. I picked this world for a few reasons. I wanted to live nearby a sunflower plains, flower forest, and beautiful mountain views. And the thing that really sold me on this world versus another one was the village up here on the right. The first official thing that we built in this world was actually behind this azalea tree. It was our starter house. Although for me, this was sort of like a starter mansion, as this is probably the biggest starter house I've ever made. I just wanted something we wouldn't have to move out of immediately into a new place, and that is so that zombies can't get in the door. But this was our workshop. I used to have a lot more workstations in here before I moved them down into the new storage. And this room used to be our storage room, but recently I converted it into just a little seating area. We have our aquarium in here. For some reason, we just have one pink axolotl in there with all of our blue ones. And then we just have a little bookcase wall over here. Upstairs, we have our chair of disappointment for our enchantment table that has been just here the entire playthrough. And then down this awkward hallway, I just had a bunch of nether wart because I needed a lot for red nether brick, and this is a place that I always was, so it always grew here. Up this ladder, you can actually go up into the attic, which was pretty empty for a long time. Everyone used to joke that it was a liminal space, but now it is home to 2 farmers. And I only have these guys up here in case I run out of food, so I can just easily trade them for some golden carrots. Now, after the starter house was finished, I actually worked on these crop fields here. This is basically where we've gotten all of our wheat, potatoes, carrots, and beetroot for the entire playthrough, because episode 2 was focused on doing some like early game farming kind of stuff. In addition, we made a little melon and pumpkin patch over here where we farmed them by hand. And in that episode, we also made this building over here, which is our iron farm. The inside is completely empty except for a couple of villagers and a zombie, but there is a downstairs that we can access through this trapdoor over here. And for a long time, this was just a stone and cobble kind of hallway down here, but we actually recently on a live stream here on YouTube. Oh, there's an iron golem in the farm right now. Oh, thanks for the iron, buddy. But yeah, recently on YouTube, we actually made this like little sorting system thing for all of the iron and all of the poppies. And then we added just a couple of decorations. So now it's just much cuter down here than the stone hallway that was here before. And oh my gosh, a night comes so quickly when you're just yapping about ending your long-term series. By the way, I'm still very, very sad about that. I just need you guys to know that I have not wanted to make this video for so long. I just kept hoping that they would update, and I was hoping that we could still play in this world, but I am genuinely so sad. Anyways, moving on. Episode 3, we built this blacksmith over here. This is one of my favorite builds in all of the Rosewood. This was actually the first build that I started to see kind of the vision of what I wanted the Rosewood to look like. But yeah, this was just like a little blacksmith area. We've got like a little lava forge and some coal. But the real reason that I built this was so that I could finally build my first ever super smelter in Minecraft, and I have absolutely loved having this, even if I don't necessarily 100% love the design anymore. Eventually, we also added this nether themed lava farm down here so that we could have infinite fuel for the super smelter, but we ended up not needing it because we never ran out of the coal that I originally stocked it with. All of these are still pretty full. Now, after these first few episodes, I did an episode where I focused on going into the ancient city below the base. But there were a couple of steps we had to take to get there, and one of them was actually going ahead and making a cactus farm so that we could have all of the different colors of dye. Now, this building isn't anything special, and the chest system is actually so broken because I didn't know what I was doing, but it pretty much just works, and it looks cute underneath as well. There's like a little pink and red theme. And of course, I made this so that— ow, don't be rude. Anyways, I made this so that we could make a rainbow wool farm with all of the different colors of wool for our sheep. And I actually love the design of this barn. I am so happy with this farm. It is pretty compact and doesn't take up too much space, but it also looks amazing. And then outside we also have a little bit of a chicken coop. Now, I added the chickens in here later. I was going to originally put cows in here, but cows are over by the sugarcane farm. And on the other side of the barn, we have a large sunflower field, as this area was all once a sunflower plains. Even though it's called the Rosewood, I still wanted to have a little bit of a nod to the sunflower plains that came before that. After going to the ancient city and setting off a bunch of shriekers, I realized that I was going to go and get my elytra in this world, and so I built a gunpowder farm way over in the ocean over there. And this cozy little building right here is actually the sugarcane farm so that we can make rockets. Now, the chests are broken in this one once again, but the actual sugarcane farm is down below. As you can see, it's just a big kind of ugly box here. But the design of this building, I'm actually pretty happy with. It came out pretty cute, and I tried a different palette on this building. I used like sandstone and smooth sandstone and birch and stuff. And it wasn't the worst. I actually like it, but I do prefer the other palette that we were using with like the calcite, the like white blocks. Yeah, there was like calcite, diorite, and polished diorite and stuff. That one I ended up liking a lot more, but this one wasn't too bad. After we defeated the Ender Dragon, it was the holidays, and I actually did a little bit of a holiday special where we came onto the other side of the mountain and built up a little Christmas cottage. We converted a spruce tree into a Christmas tree with some decorations and presents out here, and then yeah, we had just this adorable little terracotta and brick cottage. And yeah, this cottage wasn't really for anything. It was just a little fun, like kind of off project in between episodes that I did. I had a little bed in here just in case I needed to sleep. And yeah, this is just like a little cute place to come and spend some time around the fire. After the Christmas special, we actually did the bee farm episode, as I wanted to make a tree farm, and I thought I was going to need honey blocks for my tree farm, but I ended up not needing them at all. But this is actually one of my favorite builds in the Rosewood. It is such a cozy, wonderful place to be. It actually brings me so much serotonin to walk through here and see all of the different flowers that we've collected. And down the ladder actually goes to our honeycomb and honey bottle farm. So this side is the honey bottles, and for some reason it's not working. And then the other side is honeycombs, which has continued working. Wait, there was a bed in here, but I also saw an elytra. Oh my goodness, I have been looking for this elytra for so long. This was my original elytra. After the bee farm, we worked on a frog and slime episode, and this little area of the base came from that. So we made a little pond because I wanted a water feature very badly in the Rosewood, and then we made a little bridge over it with this little staircase going up to another bridge. And this leads us into our little frog sanctuary. Now, all of the frogs in here were named by people on the channel in the comment section, and I absolutely just love these guys so much. I was so excited when Minecraft added frogs to the game, and yeah, I definitely knew I wanted to build them like a cozy little cave so that they could have a place to swim and enjoy themselves without dying to fall damage all the time. Technically, we built the museum next, but we are going to tour that last, and what came next was actually the tree farm. I had a bunch of plans for other builds and other things that we're going to be going over here, but yeah, this is our tree farm. We built a big wheat field over here, as this was going to be a little bit more of like another farming area, and then we have some sniffers here. The sniffers were also named by people on the channel. So we have Cherry, Watermelon, Sir Snuffles, and then we have Shaggy and another unnamed sniffer as he was hatched on a live stream and then never named after that. The inside of the farmhouse isn't really decorated, but there is actually a tree farm underneath here. So this is a like 80 block hole because obviously the farm up there for the TNT duper had to be quite tall. And one thing I'm really proud of in here is actually the tree mural. I'll back up so you guys can see it better. I am actually so happy with the tree mural. I wasn't actually sure if I wanted it or not when I first put it in here, but I'm so happy that I did. I never built anything like that before. And then after that is my actual favorite part of this world, which is the storage system. Now, we built this custom lake on a live stream here on YouTube, and this was where we were breeding all of our axolotls to get a blue one. And past the bridge in this cave, we actually built like this magical kind of enchanted cave. It's so mossy and overgrown in here. The idea for this cave was that it was actually like the heart of the mountain where all of the magic for this world came from. And I guess in a more literal sense, it's sort of the heart of my world in general because all of my items are stored down below here. Falling through the open fence gates actually brings you down into our storage system. This is one of my favorite things that I've ever built in Minecraft ever, and I just absolutely love this whole place so much. It's semi-automatic in the sense that all of the chests are actually linked up to the system, and then all of the barrels are just like overflow or bulk storage or hand sorted by me. I didn't want the world to get too laggy from using all the hoppers because it's already pretty laggy down here as it is, but I spent over 50 hours building this whole system and I learned so much about it. I am so happy with it. There are also a bunch of little decorative areas above the actual stored items that are just like kind of all different, although some of them are like a little bit similar, but all different, and that way it's a little bit more interesting to walk around in. Overall, I had so much fun with this and it was so much fun to stream it as well, but there are only a few more structures to go in the Rosewood, and then I'm going to take you to some of the other things that we've built around. I'm not going to go to the end of the Nether just because we only have a couple of farms there. This is actually one of the most recent additions into this world. This is a little hobbit hole that's situated up on these retaining walls over here. These ones actually inspired me to make one over there in front of the starter house as well. But inside of this hobbit hole is actually a melon and pumpkin farm. It's pretty small. It just produces a little bit here and there. Then we built a bamboo farm over here. It's kind of like a little bamboo bakery type of building. This building is actually so cute and I'm actually so happy with it. The insides of all of these builds are pretty simple because I don't really live in them. They're just mainly for like the farms. And then we also added this moss farm over here, and this was our first build that didn't have kind of like the red roof. It had a green roof, but under here we just have a little bit of a moss farm that I built up from a tutorial. And that's pretty much all we've built in the main area of the Rosewood. I had so many more plans and it feels like I didn't actually build as much as I wanted to here, but I was kind of a perfectionist about everything and I wanted everything to have a very certain look, and I think I felt a lot of pressure to make everything in this world as perfect as I could for like YouTube, since I basically mostly played this world for content. But there were a couple of extra builds that weren't really like episode builds. They were just like fun little stream projects or something that I built randomly. So this was a pumpkin for our pumpkin mob from Halloween. And then another build that I did in the very last episode that I posted was this little mushroom watchtower over here. Between the barn and the iron farm, we also had like a little bit of weird space. And this is actually what we turned into Poppy Park. Poppy Park is just a place that we can honor the iron golems who have died in our iron farm. We even have a statue of all of the Gregs that have given their lives for our iron supply. And speaking of Gregs, we actually have a village over here. This village was one of the reasons why I picked this seed, but this iron golem has been with me all 1,000 days. His name is actually Greg, and he is actually the original iron golem that spawned in this village all those days ago. Hi, Greg. Bye forever, Greg, I guess. Behind this villager house, I actually built a villager breeder into the mountain. So this is the place where all of the villagers from the village went, or at least the ones that survived. My next big project in this world was actually to transform this village because that's what I wanted to do when I first got this world. But all of the villagers now are unfortunately going to be stuck down here. And wow, it is actually such a mess down here. Look at this chiseled stone floor. Oh my god. Unfortunately, this will be their forever home. Forever, I guess. I had so many plans for this world, and the village was going to be like this cool rainbow village. I've had a picture of it drawn since I first like found this seed back in 119. Going out past where Wings the panda died, RIP by the way, in the ocean you can find the mop farm that I talked about earlier. I built this right around the same time that I built the sugarcane farm. Just south of the mob farm, this island was actually going to be my next big project island after I was finished with the rosewood. This island has a really cool mountain on it, but it's also just a big like allium meadow, and I absolutely love this place. I was gonna call it like the Allium Isles or something silly like that and like make a whole purple kingdom over here. And right next to Allium Isle, which I guess is its official name now, this is the guardian farm that we built in the last episode. I unfortunately did not get to build with any prismarine in this world, but I hope in the future that I will be able to make some beautiful builds with prismarine. But I do just love watching them die. And then again, just south of the prismarine farm, we have our slime farm. This farm was kind of a pain to make because of all the brown mushrooms that you have to get. I think you need like 800 or something for this farm, and it was just like absolutely ridiculous, but it worked pretty good. There's one thing that I've built in the nether that I'm not going to show you guys, which is a froglight farm that I built from a tutorial. And then I have built one thing in the end, which is a shulker farm that almost killed me and did not work. And I still don't know what I did wrong with that farm, by the way, but the last thing we have to do is go and look at our museum. And of course it's raining right now at like such a sad moment with like such a sad, like bittersweet end to a world that I did not want to end. Oh, it is starting to get dark too, so we probably can sleep once we land. Oh, yep, it is thunderstorming, so let's go ahead and sleep the night away. In these shaders, I love to come out after I sleep with the rain because I love to look at the rainbow, and I feel like especially right now, it's such a great reminder that, well, you're probably gonna get attacked by a flaming zombie sometimes, but what I'm trying to say is that even after a dark storm or a bad time, there's always a rainbow to look forward to on the horizon. And I feel like especially with saying goodbye to this world, it doesn't mean that we're never gonna have good times again, but just that the memories we have of this world and the things that we accomplished here are so special, but that doesn't mean that we won't ever accomplish those things or have special memories again. This museum has so many precious things in it. Like, this is still my very first original wooden pickaxe that I made on day one of this world. And my very first set of iron armor. I wore this for the first 100 days of this world. And I think I borrowed my trident, so let's go ahead and put that back. Yeah, this one that's enchanted was actually my first one. For all those who've enjoyed this world as much as I did, I'm sure that this news comes as a disappointment to you, and I'm a bit sad and disappointed too. This world is my favorite that I've ever played and lived in, and I waited so long to make this announcement solely just to see if there was going to be an update. Especially after the Bedrock update happened, I was really hopeful that we would also get one on Java, but we haven't yet. Going forward for the future, I'm going to try to make a little group of Vanilla Plus texture packs that won't matter too much if they don't update, and stick to those from my main world. And by Vanilla Plus, I mean maybe like flowery crops and bushy leaves and stuff like that. And I also want to say that by no means is Mizuno going to completely leave this channel because it is my favorite texture pack of all time. It just won't be for my main series anymore. It'll be more for long plays, 100 days, or a short mini series. Oh yeah, oh right, I was going to also show you guys the world without a texture pack. Oh, prepare yourselves. It's not the worst thing that I've ever seen. And there are definitely some block choices that do not make any sense whatsoever. All of the birch and the stripped dark oak with the spruce and all the glass, it is, ugh. The builds themselves are pretty solid, so they wouldn't have to be changed structurally that much, but the block choices would definitely have to be swapped out. While swapping out the blocks is definitely accomplishable, I feel like it's a huge amount of work to be done where at the end I probably won't feel the same connection to it since it's not really the aesthetic I envisioned while building the world. Had I been building this for a no texture pack world or a very vanilla plus one, I would have made a lot of different design choices. And honestly, the amount of work that I see here just doesn't feel worth it to me, especially if I'm not going to be as happy with it. I'd rather put that energy into a new project where we can envision it in the vanilla texture pack from the get-go and make something that we're actually happy with rather than just settling for. I'm glad for the most part that this looks pretty good, although it does sort of look like a mob dungeon threw up in here. Yeah, but again, down here, I feel like we would have to completely redesign this room. It is so ugly. My intention with the rosewood was to make a world that I was really proud of, and I feel like I've done that. While saying goodbye to it isn't something that I really envisioned for this channel, I feel like it's the best choice I can make for myself and my content right now. But with the end of the sad news, there's also another announcement, and that's that I've already started filming a new hardcore series. So actually, let's go head over to Season 2 of Hardcore Froggy. Hello from the Season 2 Hardcore world. I am currently on day 5 of this world, so it's very fresh, and ignore her, that's a villager. I found a texture pack that turns villagers into women. Okay, these villagers really want some attention, but they cannot have it because this is my announcement time. This mountain range behind me is actually where we're going to be living for Hardcore Season 2. I am so excited. This is such a beautiful place and it reminds me so much of the Rosewood. I know it's not Masuno's, but it's still going to be cozy and it's still going to be cottagecore, and I already have so many plans and so much inspiration for this world. Once I get a bit further in this world, live streams are going to be back, and then we'll be back on our way to building up a new forever world. Hopefully one that we can really keep forever this time. Yeah, and I guess I will see you guys pretty soon in Season 2 of Hardcore.